Just I'm not fast, and I can't spell.
No, I do everything with one hand.
I can spell diastrom.
I'm like this.
Yeah.
But I can't spell through.
Well, I got a spelling corrector in my.
Which one?
So I don't know where Sonny is.
So if it's close, it'll
Well,
change.
he'll be late.
It's early.
He'll be here.
Yeah.
And I got a dictionary.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Grand Traverse County Board of Commissioners. This is the regular session on Wednesday, February 27th. If we could make sure all cell phones are turned off, and then if we could stand for the invocation and a pledge of allegiance, please.
Our dear God, we love you and we thank you for your love toward us. We thank you that you have given us the greatest gift of any of your creations, and that is a gift of the indwelling Spirit of God in our hearts. St. Paul called it God in us, the hope of glory. We ask that you help us as board members personify that power so that we can have wisdom and love and service for the people of this county. We ask this in your name, and we ask that you save us in heaven with you when we die. Amen.
Amen.
Our veterans are here. If they'd lead us in the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Rennie?
Here.
Inman?
Here.
Thomas?
Yep.
Wheelock? Max Bauer?
Present.
Lathrop?
Here.
Lemkool?
Here. Next, we'll have the approval of the minutes, please.
I'll make a
January
motion.
30th.
I'll make a motion to approve the January 30th, 2012 regular board meeting minutes.
I will second that.
Support by Rennie. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion is carried. The special meeting on February 15th, I need a motion to approve that.
So moved.
By Thomas, second by
Support.
Lathrop. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion's carried. Next, we have our first public comment. If you could read that, Bonnie, please.
Any person shall be permitted to address a meeting of the Board of Commissioners which is required to be open to the public under the provision of the Michigan Open Meetings Act as amended. Public comment shall be carried out in accordance with the following board rules and procedures. 1. Any person wishing to address the board shall state his or her name and address. 2. No person shall be allowed to speak more than once on the same matter, excluding time needed to answer commissioners' questions. The chairperson shall control the amount of time each person shall be allowed to speak, which shall not exceed 3 minutes. Chairperson may, at his or her discretion, extend the amount of time any person is allowed to speak.
So, is there anybody from the public that would like to make public comment? Please do. And introduce yourself and your name, please. Are you going to introduce the rest of your group that you have with you?
Again, I'm Neil Horning. I live at 6602 Boone Road, Traverse City, Michigan. This is the people from our honor guard. We have John Leffler, who's a Legion rider. Jim Whalen, he's a member of the American Legion. Ray Howell is in charge of our honor guard, American Legion.
Carl Shamble from the VFW.
Okay, and more veterans. Yes. And Ralph Soffredini, and what's your name, sir? Don Randall. Don Randall from the VFW.
Welcome.
We welcome you, and we appreciate what you're doing.
I just have a concern. I wanted to bring it up, talk about it. Good evening, by the way. I'm Neil Horning, Bowen Holiday Post 35 Commander. I'm also the board chairman for the Traverse City American Legion Junior Baseball Program. Tonight we are asking for a review of the fees for the Civic Center ball diamonds. It's to our understanding that we are to pay costs for preparing the diamonds to play, to drag and stripe. My concern is why My concern is it's using the number of games, that's how we're billed, instead of the number of days, because actually the diamonds are only striped once. And of course, there's grass mowing and that kind of stuff, and the diamonds are dragged. And then the figuring out the number of games, what I did is I just did a little formula here in round numbers. We play ball for less than 72 days. We play during May, June, and July. And in August, we have a picnic, awards picnic, usually the first week of August. So if you took those 3 months, it's about 92 days, but we don't play Sundays, and we only play Saturdays during playoffs. So it amounts to about 72 days. So if we were billed, the Parks and Rec has a dollar amount of $31.45. They're charging us per game. And I'm not sure if they're prepping each game, which they only prep once. So if we did it by day, you take the 72 days times the $31, comes out $832 per diamond times 5 diamonds, because we have kids from 5 years old to 15 playing ball. And if you multiply that out, it's about $4,160. Instead, we're getting a bill for $8,145 for the kids to play ball at our county park, which is supported by, the kids are from Grand Traverse County. It is a youth program. We're going into our 65th season. We have about 500 kids that play ball. So you got the kids, the parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters. I mean, a lot of people are involved in this program, either volunteering or donating, volunteering time or donating money. Plus, we have sponsors for all the teams. We supply the uniforms with this money, the sponsors' money. We supply it's T-shirts, a hat, and we also supply catcher's equipment, bats, and balls. For instance, the balls, we have to have at least 2 balls per game that are brand new, according to regulation. And balls are $5 a piece now. So this is not a small undertaking. And at the same time, we want to keep the price for the kids to play at a minimum. 2 years ago, we were at $55, last year $65. This year we've had to raise it to $70 just because of cost. T-shirts, hats, all that kind of stuff costs more money, and we have to replace equipment. And at one time we were in the past we paid as high as $10,000 for the kids to play ball, and I think it's unreasonable, and we should review the program. Because the Bolden Holiday Legion Post 35 is about to start our 65th season in town here. We have people going to the games who played American Legion baseball who are watching their grandkids. So it's a generational thing. It's a big deal in town. And the last thing we want to do is discontinue the program because we can't fund it anymore, or we make it too expensive. This year is $70. The Little League is charging $125. Well, a lot of the parents can't afford maybe one kid, and they may have 2 or 3 that can play ball. We also have a scholarship program for families, single mothers, single parents, dads and mothers, who can't afford to pay the full amount, and we take care of the balance. The Legion does. Because we want all the kids that want to play ball, play ball. It's an excellent mentoring program. It teaches sportsmanship, group sports. It's a family event. And we believe we are making a difference for our community. And that's about all I want to say. I just think we need to get the cost, it's going climbing right back up to that $10,000, and we're not in it to make money. We're in it for the youth. Thank you for your time.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you, Neil.
And thank you for your time.
You bet. Yeah, there's people that spend hundreds of hours. Plus, we provide jobs for high school kids. You know, they're, the umpires are usually high school kids. They make, depending on experience, between $20 and $30 a game. And that's their job for the summer. So it's just a win-win situation. I hope we can work this out. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there any other public comment? I would like to recognize our students here that we have from the schools. If you could stand up. I think we got 3 of them. That's good.
All right.
Welcome. 4 of them.
Welcome.
Good. We have 4 of them. At the end of the meeting, we'll be glad to sign your agenda. Thank you for coming. Next is the approval of the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the agenda as provided.
I'll second it.
Support by Lathrop. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. I did add a special order of business. I've been, pardon?
Could I ask
No?
for just a second consideration, or no?
What do you want, Larry?
Just that, I'm just wondering if we could just relay to Commissioner Max Bauer, since she's our representative on Parks and Rec, while the veterans are still here, if she could take the issues that were presented to our board back to the Parks and Rec
And-
board
And I noticed that,
follow up on that.
I noticed
for
that former Commissioner Henschel happens to be in the audience this evening, and I don't know whether that's just by fate or not, but Commissioner Henschel and I sat in on the contract talks, and so I may telephone him and ask him to join in the discussion, and if, I'll be in touch.
Okay, good. We just want to let you know that.
Okay. Thank you, Larry. I have added on the agenda that I'm asking on a monthly basis that we might have a report from different townships around our county. You know, we used to go to them, and then they could give us reports. So now I'm asking them to come to me, or come to us. So the first one on the agenda is Supervisor Glenn Lyle from East Bay Township. So Glenn, if you'd come up and give us a little report on what's happening at East Bay Township.
Thank you. Glenn Lyle, East Bay Township Supervisor. I get to be the first one to go through this, and I really think it's a great idea so that everybody does know what's going on in the different townships. You know, I've always said none of us are an island. We all need to kind of work together. East Bay Township is in the process of getting ready to have their public hearing on the stormwater ordinance. We have decided to draft our stormwater ordinance, and our engineer is going to be the one that handles it for us. So, you know, it's been several months getting it together, and if something changes at the county level, we can always sit down and talk about it. One of the big things going on in East Bay Township is we're going to be installing another water tower, and we're going to be installing water main. Right now, the water main on Hammond Road ends at East Bay Calvary Church. We're going to run the water main up Hammond Road, go down 5 Mile Road, and connect it so we have a loop, because everything that feeds Holiday Hills, there's 2 real small wells up in Holiday Hills to feed the water tower, but they're only about 150 to 160 gallons a minute. A regular well we got probably 900 gallons a minute, so there's a big difference. So now we run the water all the way down 3 Mile, down Munson to Holiday, up Holiday to 5 Mile, and 5 Mile to the booster station. Well, that water's pretty tired by the time it gets there. But anyhow, it'll give us redundancy so that we can backfeed if we ever have to. It's probably about neighborhood $4.5 million project. We've got the paperwork in, starting the process of getting the financing for it. So, you know, I really look forward to that. That'll, you know, really give us some redundancy within the water. I had passed out on your desk is a permit history. And I highlighted it, and I know I went outside the lines, but I never did color real well. But it'll give you an idea of the single-family dwellings, where we've been and where we are today. You know, during the building boom, we were at 105, 104, you know, quite a few a year. Last year, we did 19. But I am glad to report that the Planning Commission approved a PUD for a development called Pheasant Ridge. It's about 44-acre site that's on 4 Mile Road, just north of Hammond. It's going to be senior assisted living. It'll be done in 3 phases. The first building will be about 100 residents, the same with the second. The third phase will be 56 individual residents, 32 single-family detached units, and 4 duplexes, 4 townhouses. So it's going to be a pretty big development, and it's going to take several years to complete. The other thing we have is on Airport Road. The original was called Brookside Apartments. They just completed them last year. They'd sat there, they were started, the developer went bankrupt, and they sat there. Another developer came in, picked them up, finished them, did a beautiful job on them. Now, he's going to do 10 3-bedroom units and 4 2-bedroom apartments, just down, I think, 2 lots away from there. So, you know, when you're looking at, we had, you know, 19 single-family dwellings last year, and then this is starting. There's been a little bit of groundwork done on Airport Road. The Pheasant Ridge has not, there's been no groundwork done, no dirt moved. So at least it's promising. We've had a couple developers come in and ask about some projects. If they do materialize, it's going to be very nice for East Bay Township. Border review. Our border review, we've sent out the notices. I know that the county and the township are in partnership on the assessing. I'm happy to report that the notices went out, I think, a couple weeks ago. I think we got 2 appointments, maybe 3. So it's a big change from what we used to have, and we're down to where we schedule 2 days for border review rather than 3 or 4. So with that, any questions that I can answer?
Interesting.
Dean?
Glenn, for the water project, would you be bonding through the Board of Public Works, or, I know we had some discussion on this a while back.
I tried to talk the county into it, but
we
I'm
just,
not sure who the bonding agent's gonna be at this time. We will go out, I'm sure, and bond is what we'll probably do, but I'm not even sure. That's something we're probably gonna need to have a discussion on.
okay, well, Dave and I were chatting while you were talking, but we would definitely assist with that if that's the route you decide to go through, well, a bond issue. We did talk briefly about whether or not the county had sufficient cash reserves to do that, and we probably don't at this point, but
Okay.
with a fairly new treasurer, we wanted to get through 1 full fiscal year to make sure we had our cash flow properly understood, so.
Okay, I will definitely sit down and we can talk about it before the time comes. I appreciate it.
Glenn, thank you very much.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming.
Thank you, Glenn.
Have a good evening.
All right.
The groundbreaker,
Yeah,
trailblazer.
nicely done. Next on the agenda is action on the consent calendar.
The purpose of the consent calendar is to expedite business by grouping non-controversial items together to be dealt with by one commission motion without discussion. Any member of the commission, staff, or the public may ask that any item on the consent calendar be removed therefrom and placed elsewhere on the agenda for full discussion. Such requests will be automatically respected. If any item is not removed from the consent calendar, the action noted, receive and file or approval, is approved by a single commission action adopting the consent calendar. A, receive and file. Number 1, Northwest Michigan Community Action Agency Incorporated minutes of November 15, 2012. Number 2, Area Agency on Aging of Northwest Michigan minutes of December 6. Number 3, Department of Veterans Services minutes of December 20th. Number 4, Northwestern Regional Airport Commission minutes of December 20th. Number 5, Grand Traverse County Department of Human Services Board minutes of December 28th. Number 6, Commission on Aging minutes of January 8th. Number 7, Grand Traverse County Planning Commission minutes of January 15th. Number 8, Board of Public Works Special Finance Committee minutes of January 16th. Number 9, Grand Traverse Community Collaborative minutes, January 24th. Referrals, none. Approvals. The Public Health and Safety Committee recommends approval of the following resolutions. Number 10, Sheriff's Office, Property Room Surplus Items. Number 11, Commission on Aging Donations for 2012. Number 12, Proclamation that April 2013 is Social Host Awareness Month in Grand Traverse County. Number 13, Resolution in support of the Grand Traverse County Sheriff's Department School Liaison Officer Program. Number 14, Home Chore Equipment Repair and Maintenance Agreement for 2013 Commission on Aging. The Resource Management and Administration Committee recommends approval of the following resolutions. Number 15, Wood Grinding Contract Extension, American Waste. Number 16, Resource Recovery 2013 Hauler Licenses. Number 17, Household Hazardous Waste Collection Contract. Number 18, Land Information Access Association Contract, Web Streaming of County Meetings. Number 19, Resolution in support of county revenue sharing. Number 20, Resolution regarding appointments to Traverse Area District Library Board. The Ways and Means Committee recommends approval of the following resolutions. Number 21, County Clerk True Filing Fee for Self-Represented Parties. Number 22, NETEC Agreement. Number 23, Tablets for Commissioners. Number 24, Budget Adjustments. Number 25, MERS Defined Contribution Adoption Agreement.
Hearing the consent calendar, is there anybody in the public that would like any of these items removed? Are there any commissioners who would like an item removed? Chris?
Number 18, please.
Dean?
Number 25, just to make a brief comment.
Anybody else would like to have anything removed? A motion to approve the consent calendar as amended.
Support.
Mr.
Motion.
Thomas, support by Wheelock. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Roll call.
Excuse me, roll call. I'm sorry.
Commissioner Inman?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yep.
Wheelock?
Yes, ma'am.
Max Bauer?
Yes.
Lathrop?
Yes.
Rennie?
Yes.
Lemko?
Yes. Next on the agenda is the items removed. Number 18, land information. Chris?
Yes, I just removed this just as a matter of informing the board. I do sit on the LEA Executive Advisory Board for Up North Television for LEA. I receive no compensation for it. Bob, can I go ahead and vote, or should I abstain?
I don't think you have a conflict.
All right, thank you. In that case, I would move for approval of the contract for web streaming of county meetings with Land Information Access Association.
Second.
Second by Inman. Any other discussion? Do we have to have a roll call on this, too?
Nope.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion's carried. Next, Dean, you pulled off number 25, MERS defined contribution.
Well, in your packet, you have the completed document for the loan addendum. One of the other items that the chairman would sign if this is approved tonight is the actual adoption agreement. And I just wanted to point out, I did not provide that to the committee at Ways and Means, but in preparing that for the chairman's signature, the section in that agreement, and this is just so that I have done my part to provide full disclosure, the provision regarding loans, MERS in that, it's a two-sentence paragraph, says there, I'm going to read it because I want you to be aware of it. MERS recommendation is no, not to allow loans loans permit your employees to borrow against their retirement account. We briefly discussed that, but the point that I wanted to make here is that the retirement system, their recommendation is to not allow loans. That was one thing that I did not mention, but I wanted to mention that tonight.
Sonny?
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve the amendment to the MERS contract to allow employees to borrow their own money in the employee retirement fund.
I'll support.
Support by
Thanks, Bob.
Mark. Any other discussion? Do I need a roll call on this? No. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Next on the agenda is Employee Recognition Suggestion Award Team Presentation. Do we call it passed? Commissioner Henschel?
That's true, it's
The
passed,
former?
passed.
Has
The
been?
most recent is passed.
Good evening, Commissioners. It's a delight to be here tonight. Really great to see some faces again. Towards the end of the last year, one of the things our team likes to do is get in front of the commission once a year and just give a brief update of what's going on with the team, what it's about, and just kind of refresh your memories. And we decided, since we have a couple new commissioners coming on and a lot of other commissioners going off, it's really a new commission this year, and we decided to do it this year. And then I don't remember who had the idea of, well, why don't you come back and help with the presentation? So it's a delight to be here.
Volunteered.
Oh. Apparently it was my idea.
I don't know, I just said.
Anyway, so just briefly, we'd like to give a brief presentation on the Employee Recognition Team. And I personally, I call this one of the most important committees in the county because it's a force multiplier to your greatest investment in this community. If you consider the dollars we invest in our payroll and the value that our employees bring, this is one of the number one areas that we can increase the value that our citizens receive. And so I'll start with the mission to recognize and encourage employees and volunteers for their dedication to quality service and submission of constructive ideas. One of the things the committee does, which Jen will go into a little bit deeper in a minute, is we take suggestions from employees that will be a cost savings to the county. If they are implemented, the employee is rewarded monetarily. Just a token, I think it's $50. This is the team as of last year, and I had a little more hair in my face then. But we have different employees from different departments, from Human Resources, Commission on Aging, Sheriff's Officer Jetter, you're familiar with, Sarah Adams from the administration, Jen Seaman, of course, from Human Resources, and Deb Miner from the Health Department. So what is employee recognition? It's basically just helping the employees to feel that they're appreciated. It can be public or private, monetary, non-monetary. It's verbal or written. Employees like to hear that they're appreciated, that what they do matters. And why is that important? Through employee recognition, you can motivate and thank employees to continue good performance and loyalty to the organization. Successful employee recognition will allow you to retain employees and improve employee morale, encourage innovation, increase the productivity. If you just think of the baseline productivity, if we've got $1 million worth of labor out there, and if we can, through recognition, through saying you did a good job, if we can increase efficiency or productivity by just 3%, what is that in dollar value for the citizens? I mean, a very small percentage across the entire board of 500 employees can mean a lot. And this is a quick survey of how important is recognition to employees. A comparison of very important aspects of employees' job satisfaction. In many surveys, if you look, you'll see that the employee feeling recognized and appreciated is more important than pay in a lot of situations. So, maybe we can't give everyone all the raises we want to give them, but at least say thank you, at least say we appreciate you on a regular basis. And Jen will tell you how we do that.
the programs that we offer here at Grand Traverse County, we have a service recognition program, and this is based upon years of service at 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on. Employees can choose from a gift, which is actually from the Board of Commissioners and the recognition team. It's a logo apparel item from Bay Supply, a downtown gift certificate to downtown Traverse City, or most recently added was a Shell gas gift card that they could use. And last year, we did have our 35th anniversary, so we had to add a milestone to our program. So we had an employee that had been here for 35 years. So the service anniversary program, this is a yearly program that supervisors can recognize employees if they want to on an annual basis, and we have note cards for their use in human resources. We also have a devoted service, which is our retirement program. When someone retires from the county with 15 or more years of service, they can choose from it's a clock, and which a lot of people do like to have this. It's a desk clock, a really nice desk clock, or they can choose a framed picture of one of the county facilities that we have on file, and we frame it for them, and it's in a frame that's matted. And some prefer to have signatures on it, have people come in and sign the mat on the frame, which turns out really nice too, and they can keep that. Employee recognition, making a difference. This is actually a new program that actually Dave came to one of our meetings, and we thought about rolling out a new program, and this is to encourage employee-to-employee, peer-to-peer recognition of employees that they're doing on a daily basis, just good jobs they are doing here at the county. So we can spread the word and get that out there of what our employees are doing on a daily basis. That's good news. Applause, applause. This is actually on our website, on the public website, where we put great things that employees have done, national recognition, honors, awards, things like that. Most recently, we had an employee at the health department that was out. He's a sanitarian and was out doing one of his normal food service inspections, and he had to give CPR. So went above and beyond, and we put that on the website for everyone to see. So that's obviously an extreme case of doing a great job. But another thing that we can put out there that's free. Suggestion award program, Rob touched on this a little bit. It's a program where employees can submit suggestions on things that would be beneficial at the county. Actually, that's how we got the ATM out front of the county building, was from an employee suggestion. So, and if there's certain criteria that the suggestion has to meet, it has to save the county, it meets certain criteria, and then $50 is awarded to that employee. And then the asset relocation program, this isn't really a recognition program, but it's more of another program that the committee has developed, and it allows county departments to exchange basically supplies they're no longer using. If you have got a filing cabinet your department's no longer using, it's already been paid for, maybe it might be old, does another department want to use it? And so just to encourage some of that recycling amongst county departments as well. Challenges the team is facing. Getting the message out to employees, department heads, supervisors, making it known that recognition is really important. It's something that does not have to cost a lot, that we can do on a daily basis, and thanking our coworkers and peers is really important, and it's hard to do. It's hard to keep that in the front of people's minds when they have a job to do every day, and that is usually the most important thing on their mind. Keeping ideas fresh, we're always looking of new programs. That's how we developed a new program this year, is we want to keep things fresh so that they're used, and we're always looking to make sure that our programs are utilized as well. Finding ways supervisors can recognize employees easily and at a low cost. This is something that I get asked all the time. How can I recognize someone? What can I do without having it cost anything? So just coming up with creative ways to do that, such as putting something on our website. We're always looking for new ways to do that. Keeping morale high, and just acknowledging employees who are doing more with less, which is a lot of the employees here at the county. Just some facts for you. The average length of service for county employees is just over 10 years. And there's a list there of the milestone anniversaries we celebrated last year. So you can see we've got quite a few employees that celebrated at that 10-year mark last year. And we had almost 80 new people that were hired in 2012. So to summarize, employee recognition is very important. We have several ways to recognize employees and our organization's leaders, you guys, and play a key role in helping us with recognition, retention, motivation. And recognition can really come from any level, whether it's the leaders or your peers just thanking you for helping them with a project or, anything. We've had employees that have cleaned off other employees' cars this winter just to say thank you, or because they wanted to do something nice. Someone asked me if I knew who cleaned off their car. I was like, well, I don't know. It wasn't me. But we've had random acts of kindness like that. So just something like that, and getting the word out on those things, and just saying thank you, how much that really does matter. So, and that is it. And there's one more recognition member in the crowd. Holly's here. So just wanted to point out that Holly is here too. So.
Recognition, we're hoping by this little blip on your radar that just a little reminder that recognition is important, because if the commission feels recognition is important and they're telling employees as they pass, hey, good job, it'll be important to the administration. If it's important to the administration, it'll be important to the department heads, and it'll just flow right down the chain. So you really do play a big part in just a small part of regular recognition. And I'll end with the quote, Napoleon Bonaparte, when asked about the importance of recognition, said, "Give me enough medals and I'll win any war." Because a lot of people just live and die for that little bit of recognition and feeling like they made a difference.
Chris?
Well, I just wanted, as long as Holly is here, I just wanted to point out that Commission on Aging has been recognizing employees in their monthly board packet for, 6 years now at least? Yeah, maybe even longer. Yeah.
Any other comments?
No, good presentation, thank you.
Thank you very much. And Rob, thank you for coming back. Jen, we thank you for what you're doing and your staff and all the county employees. We really do appreciate what they're doing.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the finance claim summary is on your desk.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the claim summary as presented, $6,638,154.15.
Support.
Support by Wheelock. Any other comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next is the administration.
The first thing in your packet is item number C1, which is the RAVE Mobility Smart 911. The funds will be taken from the 911 budget. Dean will be processing a budget adjustment to make the transfers. And this will put Smart 911 into place, get the ball rolling, and get us to be the first in Michigan to do so. Move for approval.
Second.
Moved by Thomas, support by Rennie. Any other discussion?
I'd like to ask Bob Cooney to give us an indication of what he thinks FOIA and any implication of that would have with respect to implementing this RAVE Mobility Smart 911.
I know there's been some concerns from the community about whether this information might be subject to the Freedom of Information Act and therefore disclosed to someone maybe looking for marketing information, something like that. Chris Forsythe did prepare a fairly extensive memo on that on January 22nd for the board to consider. I guess the bottom line is that we feel that we have a strong argument that the material would not be subject to FOIA, and I believe that would be under the exception to FOIA for information of a personal nature if public disclosure of the information would constitute a clearly unwarranted invasion of an individual's privacy. And
you know, you can never be 100% sure about anything until a court rules on it. We weren't able to find cases that were directly on point. We were able to find some cases that, you know, would definitely be supportive of our position. So can't be 100% sure, but I can tell you I would feel very confident going into court on this issue and arguing that this is not material that would be subject to FOIA. So, I don't know if that helps.
Sonny?
Well, I think the important thing about this is, you know, having sat in that truck for a lot of years, it's very important when you're responding to a scene with an elderly individual or someone who's a caretaker for someone who may or may not, you may not even know that they're in the home. And I've made those calls when I get to the house and I have to take this guy to the hospital because he's having a heart attack. And oh, by the way, he's the caregiver for his wife who has Alzheimer's and is upstairs in a room undressed. You know, and I've scrambled around and I've had the Commission on Aging send people there to provide respite care for those folks because I have to load this guy and get out of here. I don't have time to do this. So in the meantime, I'm either leaving an EMT or a paramedic on scene with that wife, or I'm asking a sheriff's deputy to stand there. You know, but the important piece about it is the fact that before I get there, I have that information. And that's what Smart 911 will give us. We'll have that information up front, and we can start rolling someone toward being there to take care. You know, it's one thing if you get there and the guy's just having, you know, I hate to say minor chest pains, but if he's out on the floor and you're doing CPR, you don't have time to do anything except load and go. And then, you know, then you're scrambling around, okay, who's staying and who's going? And those are sometimes very difficult decisions to make. And the advantage of having this this information for people that have specific medical needs or special needs in their home, it far outweighs the $14,000 it's going to cost us or anything else. And I think this is a perfect example where Grand Traverse County is out front supporting the public safety of our community.
Larry, before you make comment, Jamel, would you like to come up and talk about what
we don't want to hear from you.
Smart 911 is?
We don't want to hear from her. She'll bad arm.
She'll beat me later.
Hi, Jamel Anderson, Grand Traverse 911 Director. Smart 911 is a private company that provides a database that people can register voluntarily information into, which then goes to 911 if they call 911. Can be as small as an address or as an extensive as medications. You can put pictures in there of children, of even adults, all different kinds of things. It's very easy to register online. It does not cost to do so, and anyone can do that at any time. Your profile travels with you. If you are in any area that subscribes to 911, Washington, D.C., if you're in Arkansas, Nashville, several other areas, your profile will follow you there. So if you're traveling and you call 911, the information that you've put in would go to that 911 center as well. And we agree that the potential benefit definitely outweighs the cost, and we have been assertively pursuing that because we feel it can enhance the capabilities of our 911 system, give us a much deeper pool of information than we currently have.
I just want you to know that I went in and put my personal data in there. It was very easy to do so. Go into your computers, put in smart911.com, and you can enter your personal data, or you can go in and enter the data for a person you're taking care of. So you know, it's really easy. There's a lot of questions that they ask, and you can put as much information in there as you want. And so that when somebody comes, like Sonny, and comes at your door and you've already called 911, they're ready. They know exactly what to, you know, are you caring for somebody in the northwest side of your northwest bedroom upstairs, and they are handicapped or they're wheelchair bound? They know that going into it before they even get there, and they're prepared.
Or they have a great big Rottweiler.
Yeah, oh yeah, right.
I'd like to know that too.
Right. Yeah.
But we wouldn't tell you that, Sonny.
I know, been there, done that.
Go ahead, Larry.
As I indicated to the board, this was originally presented at Central Dispatch, and I felt pretty strongly about it, that we wanted to get it forward in front of the board and commissioners as soon as possible. The only thing I would ask if, given this passes, hopefully, I'm very supportive of it, that once we install it and get all the technology ready to go, that if we could get some kind of staff report back about how we go about educating the public and what are we going to do to motivate the public, or what would be our marketing component, the education and the marketing component, to encourage the members of the public of Grand Traverse County to get their data uploaded and participate. For example, with Kelly Hall, she came in and said, I think the schools would be really interested, the public school board would be interested in trying to assist us in that. So if we could think about how we might want to approach that, either it's a citizens advisory group that would go out and try to market and promote this, or whether we would try to do this internally, and kind of give us a report of what their game plan is after they install it.
Jamel, would you like to answer that?
I would, as being the first agency in the state of Michigan
Right.
that subscribes to Smart 911, a part of the benefit of being that first agency is a fairly substantial marketing campaign. They have they're a marketing department that goes out to the agencies that are first in the state, and I've been in contact just through one email. The gentleman that came and did the presentation had their marketing person contact me, and there are all types of ways of marketing this. One way that they've used is they put information about Smart 911 into report cards at school. Because obviously so many kids have cell phones. Well, the kids might not necessarily see this as very important, but their parents would have a different perspective. Of course, Commission on Aging, the special needs, the loss of hearing community, and autistic people. And we were looking at like the convention, travelers and convention tourism. That's a big thing here. If people come here and they're traveling, wouldn't it be great if they knew that they could put that information in, and we would have that contact, emergency contact information or medical history. So there are a lot of ways that we want to pursue in getting the information out there. Daryl Case, who's with Blair EMS, has been a really strong proponent and has helped us with this. And he has made the statement he would go door to door in Blair to get the information out and help people. And we have talked to some of the fire departments about maybe hosting an afternoon where people could come in if they didn't own a computer, have people come in and they would help them register. So we've been looking at a lot of different options with that.
Chris, you had a comment?
Yeah, I'm on Smart 911 right now, and I'm looking at it. Herb mentioned this. You can go in for somebody else and put in information. What's to keep you from going in and putting information on me?
It has to be confirmed. You will get an email or a phone call confirming that information belongs with that phone number.
Yeah. I got a phone call because my phone number was that, and when I put my wife's information in there, she got the phone call.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's how they check that out.
I already
So
tried to
checking
put
on your
information
phone.
about Sunny, but it wouldn't work. No, it's confirmed. It is confirmed to make sure that the information goes with that phone number and is, correct.
And we won't talk about the information she was trying to put in on me in public.
Do I have a motion?
You did.
You did.
I do, okay. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Jamel,
Thank you.
thank you very much, and looking forward to having this for all of our citizens.
Me too. Are you going to be in tomorrow to sign the contract?
If you want me to do it now, or I'll be here tomorrow in the morning, and I can do it then.
How about tomorrow? Because I think Chris has the...
That's fine.
Perfect.
I'll be
Thank
here
you.
tomorrow. Next on the agenda is resolution adopting the Community Recreation and Natural Resource Conservation Plan.
Yes, the Parks Director is attending a conference of the Parks and Rec Association. So I'm standing in for him. As you know, an extensive planning process and public hearing process has already run its course, and culminating in the adoption of this plan by the Parks and Recreation Board. And now the final step in the process is to have the full Board of Commissioners approve this plan, and you've all had plenty of opportunity to see it and look at it. And we have Aerith from the Parks Department here to answer any questions if you have any.
Chris?
I would move for approval.
Support.
Move support by Wheelock. I do have from our ticker about 4 pages of comments that they were able to generate from their article, both pros and cons. And so, I just want to say thanks to the ticker for putting this kind of information out there that people can then publicly comment on after they've done that. There's 30,000 people that get the ticker on a daily basis. What a great tool. So, any other comment?
Well, I did have a conversation with the mayor this afternoon about some of the ticker comments and said that it is a plan and, and we may or may not revisit it, but it's a plan and plans change.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Next is Benzie County Service Agreement.
Yes, item D1, and Chuck Lurchin is in the audience here.
Good evening.
Good evening, Chuck.
Chuck Lurchin, Veterans Affairs Office Director. I'd like to introduce Mr. Glenn Rainier, Commissioner from Benzie County, who traveled in. Roads are getting icy, so we appreciate Glenn coming here. As you know, since July, August, we've been talking with Benzie County off and on, a lot of meetings. This culminates with this tonight. Their Board of Commissioners approved the contract or service agreement that's before you right now, and I'd be happy to answer any questions about it. Veterans Affairs Committee has recommended approval to go ahead and provide those services to Benzie County, very much like we do with Leelanau County. So,
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the agreement for veteran services for Benzie County as presented.
I'll second it.
Support by Thomas. Any other discussion? Chris?
I just wanted to say how pleased I am, and I'm so glad the veterans are here this evening. That Benzie County is doing this for their veterans, and I can't speak highly enough of our Veterans Department. You're going to be really, really happy with their service.
Sonny?
Well, I think Glenn and I had this discussion about a month ago, sitting in my office, that we were getting here, so I am very excited to have this happen, and the professionalism and the experience and the knowledge that the Grand Traverse County Veterans Office has can be beneficial to all the veterans in northwestern Michigan, and we do make those services available, whether we're under contract to those counties or not. But the fact is, Benzie County has recognized the fact that there was an unserved need, or, I hate to say that they weren't getting it done, but they just simply were not able to provide the professionalism they needed, and they recognized that by this contract they could provide better service to their veterans. So I acknowledge that and thank Benzie County for sticking up for their veterans also.
Any other comment? I would just like to comment that my father-in-law sat on this committee for many years down in Benzie, Keith Carmine, and he's been gone for a number of years, and so I'm not sure what has been going on, but when he was there, he was very committed, and so were the people that were doing it, were very committed to do it, but this is the better way of doing it, I think, and collaboration is the number one thing that we're doing. So, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Next is unfinished business, violence in the workplace. Chuck, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chuck. Thanks, Glenn.
Jen?
Jen Seaman, Human Resources Director. Just to provide an overview, there's two proposed changes to this policy. One is to remove the requirement to have a form filled out to report violence in the workplace. And the reason this is not, I'm recommending that we remove this from our policies because a form is not required for an employee to report violence in the workplace. I do highly suggest that they get their thoughts down on a piece of paper, but requiring a form is not necessary for us to start an investigation. Actually, it opens the county to some liability if we require a form to be filled out. If I know or reasonably should have known that there's violence occurring in the workplace, I have a duty to act on behalf of the county in my position. So that was the recommendation there. And then the second one is to add in an anti-retaliation provision to the violence in the workplace policy. This is the same anti-retaliation provision that's in our harassment policy, and is actually recommended by the undersheriff. He came to a supervisor training in the fall, actually in November, and realized we did not have an anti-retaliation provision in our violence in the workplace policy, and recommended that we have one in there, so that way if an employee reports violence in the workplace, they are not retaliated against thereafter. So those were the two changes there.
Can I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the revised violence in workplace policy as presented.
I'll second it.
Support by Lathrop. Any other discussion?
I want to say something.
Go ahead.
I, at first, was a little suspicious of this, but I did talk with Jen, and I did talk with David, and I feel a lot better about it. I am still concerned about the person that gets unfairly accused, and maybe even unfairly found guilty. And I want to look into that and talk with you both about that at a later time. But I'm glad to see this go through.
All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Next is the appointment of Brownfield Redevelopment Authority from the city of Traverse City, the appointment of Mark Crane, and replacing Pete Strom.
Mr. Chairman, it's my honor to recommend appointing Mark Crane to the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority.
And I have support.
Second.
Support by Inman. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Pete was on that for a number of years, and so
Yes,
we
he was.
really must say thanks to him for his service to our community in the Brownfield plan and committee, and so really wanted to say thank you for that. Next on the agenda is the second public comment. Is there anybody from the public that would like to make a comment at this time? Commissioner committee reports. Mr. Thomas.
First thing I'd like to say is I'd like Christine to go back to Parks and Rec and see if we can make life a little easier for these gentlemen that are putting on a great baseball program.
I'm
We'll see what
absolutely going to do
See what we
that.
can do.
I'm absolutely going to do that.
Chris?
I just wanted to report that I have been appointed to the MAC Economic Development and Taxation Committee, and so I will be bringing you reports on that on a regular basis.
You're going to support tax reform.
Sonny?
I guess I'd report that at Long Lake Township's meeting last week, Glenn talked earlier about the stormwater ordinance. Long Lake Township decided to abolish their current stormwater ordinance, and they've asked their planning commission as part of their rewrite of their master plan, what they're currently working on. You know, they just felt that the stormwater ordinance that was currently in place did not necessarily address the wants and the needs of their community. So they chose to abolish it, and you know, I think most of the discussion comes around to the idea that stormwater and that stormwater ordinance is kind of a land use application, and therefore it should apply the same as their other zoning ordinance issues. So they voted to abolish their current stormwater ordinance.
And if they haven't already done it, Green Lake and Blair are going to, too.
Well, they never signed it.
Green Lake never had one.
Green Lake and Blair never had it.
No.
Yeah.
Well, they were
Blair
talking.
might.
They were talking
I
about
think
it.
Blair has one. No? I know Green Lake doesn't.
Green Lake and Blair never passed the counties.
Any other
They
commissioners?
don't like it anyway.
I just have a couple of things. 2013 hiring our Heroes Events program, or Hero Veterans Event program is April 23rd. So employers and job seekers, this is an opportunity for them to put out their want ads, and veterans, we would encourage you to make sure you come in, and the veteran organization, to let your people know that this is an opportunity to be able to figure out how to get a quality job in our community. I'm really looking forward to that. The other thing is Mixes and Fixes on Wednesday, March 6th at Green Lake Township Hall is a presentation from the Road Commission. Also, Thursday, March 7th at East Bay Township Hall. Both of those are at 6 o'clock. And then the other thing I wanted to say is that the Department of Human Services Board on the pavilions met, and they're sending a letter of intent to start a PACE program for Grand Traverse County pavilions. This is a program that's going to be from in between a person going into a nursing home but still wants to be in their home and wants to have services to be able to provide that. And so they're in the process of looking at that. It's not a done deal. It's still just in the process. They have had some consultants come in and tell them, this is what you need to do, how you need to do it, and what your outcome is. It's probably 3 years, 4 years before they break even, and it is a sizable investment on their part. Chris?
As long as you're talking about the PACE program, I did attend the DHS meeting where that was presented. I know that it was going to be, or is going to be presented as well at the next Commission on Aging Board meeting, but I will not be able to attend that. So I did attend that DHS meeting. And it does sound interesting. Anything that we can do to keep seniors in their homes, which is where they want to be, I'm for. The other thing I wanted to mention is we had there was a recent article in our governing magazine, and it's called The Great Gamble, and I made copies of this article for all the commissioners, and it's about the risk involved in bonding your unfunded liability pension. So I made a copy for everybody, and I'm going to ask you to please read it. And that's all I have on that.
Do you have one for
I have one for
Mr. Cooney?
I do.
Thank you very much. The other thing I did do is I attended Phase 3 groundbreaking for the Greenspire Schools in the Grand Traverse Commons. And this is a charter school that's providing environmental education along with regular education to these kids. It was really exciting to me to see how the parents, the kids, the administration, and the teachers are all working together. They talk about schools being an institution that you go for education. In this, when they do a Montessori, it is a community education program, and they involve the parents, the kids, the administration, and everybody works together to provide a quality education for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and they broke ground yesterday. So I'm really looking forward to that. Anything else? How about calendars? Anybody have any questions on your calendars? You guys are going to be gone for public health and safety? How many? We're going to be back?
We'll be back.
Okay.
Are we going to hold that meeting or are we going to cancel it?
Oh, yeah, it depends on the agenda, who's setting the agenda, so.
That would be me.
Yep, Chris.
And I'm going to meet with Dave tomorrow morning. That's our regular meeting at Thursday at 9.
Yep.
To go over the agenda, so I will let you know.
Okay.
The strategic,
Just a quick reminder, because it's a little bit dear to my household, the Regional Odyssey of the Mine Tournament will be held at East Middle School this weekend. There'll be 50, 60 teams of kids from kindergarten through seniors competing there in 6 different problems. If you get an opportunity, come by. Some of the things these kids can do is just amazing.
Anything else to be brought before this?
yeah, our strategic planning meeting.
Was it already
That
set?
was moved to 10 o'clock?
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
It was?
Yep.
Yep.
Because of our,
Old people can't,
Surprise.
old people can't get up
because of
that
your
early.
and my meetings that morning, we moved it to 10 o'clock.
And the date on that was the
13th.
13th, yeah.
The first.
March, or
March 13th,
March, yes.
Wednesday at 10
Tomorrow's the
o'clock.
last day of February.
thanks.
No, it's not.
It's not?
It's the 13th and the 10th.
So it's, otherwise I don't get birthday. 10?
Oh, that's right. You're a leap year guy.
Nothing else to be brought before this group? Then we are adjourned, and thank you all for coming
Thank
to our
you.
meeting.
So, Sonny, you don't have a birthday this year?
No. How old are you, 4, 5?
That would have been my recommendation, just skip that.
So we're doing 10 a.m. on both days?
I don't think it's the age, I think it's the mileage.
On the 10th of April as well?
The reason I mentioned Rob Henschel is because I know